Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rechah HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakatham. It's the brother Kazaf from Beneval 12 West Coast, coming back at it again with another lesson. Watching the times, and I came across this article on Al Jazeera. It's titled, U.S. Jobless Claims Rise for Third Straight Week as Layoffs Persists. All right, so it's a wave all over Babylon where people are just losing their jobs. And the funny thing is, if you look at the tone of the article, it's almost as if whoever wrote this is shedding like some type of hope, that like some type of like that spirit where it's like, oh, we'll get through this. It's hard, but that's why the title of this lesson is gonna be "She is not to be healed," referring to Babylon. All right, because this ditch that Yahweh Shai is having this place sink into, there's no coming back from it. Okay, whether it be the national debt, which is affecting the population, this whole C-19 thing, and then also too, the nations rising up against it. Which you had North Korea just test its first hypersonic missile, man. So there's no coming back. All right, Yahweh Shai has set the transition in motion. Okay, but let's go into this article. All right, without further ado, and it reads: the economic recovery in the United States is still on track right now. That's what I'm talking about right there. Like they still trying to push for that economic recovery. But Yahweh Shai, he's not going to allow that. All right, Lord willing, you know what I'm saying? Because this place is about to go down. All right, and with everything going on, you know that the transition is set in motion. Okay, and that's actually a good title right there, for a future lesson. All right, but it reads: but the labor market is signaling that growth is decelerating in the face of challenges ranging from the spread of the D variant of the C-19 to stingier jobless benefits. All right, so they're obviously putting this, on the Crown V. That's what they're putting this on. And it reads: weekly jobless claims, a proxy for layoffs, rose by a stronger than expected. Now, this is the part that really surprised me right here. All right, rose by a stronger than expected 11,000 last week to 362,000. Okay, now there's no way, you could just put this and not alarm anybody. I was just skimming through this article and I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just, the regular stuff, not necessarily something, worthy to do a lesson on. All right, but if you look at what it just said, it rose from 11,000 to 362,000. That is a dramatic increase. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not, a stronger than expected. A stronger than expected probably, from 11,000 to 20,000. But we talking about from the 10,000s to the 100,000s. All right, this is like, you know what I'm saying? This is like a 300% increase, if I'm not mistaken. My math might be a little off, but this is a 300% increase, possibly more, So it's obvious, when I saw this, I immediately thought of that scripture. All right, so let's just continue on reading, and it reads: the U.S. Department of Labor said on Thursday that is the third week in a row that initial claims have increased. Okay, and this is going to keep on, the ball's just going to keep on rolling, man. All right, look how much it increased. Okay, and then you have situations where, I don't think it's the logistics, the distribution, with all these truck drivers, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's going on out there in the UK. You don't think it's going to happen over here? And it reads: and the highest reading since early August. All right. The biggest jump by state came from California. That's the spirit, because that's where I stay at, where nearly 18,000 more people filed for initial unemployment benefits last week than the week before. You see? So, hey, man, it's getting ready. The transition is set in motion. It's about to hit the fan. All right, Goldman Sachs economists believe the expiration of the federal unemployment benefit earlier this month may have been a factor boosting the number of Californians filing for state jobless benefits. All right, so yeah, that's another thing too. With these benefits, you could say it conditioned. I don't really want to use that term, but we're just gonna use it, just to use something. You know what I'm saying? It basically conditioned the people, to just rely on handouts. Have that slothful spirit on people. Even though this is slavery, at the end of the day, but these people, they just sitting back. They want their hands out. They got their hands out. They want the government to pay them. But really, the situation is becoming even more harder for certain people because you got some people that are anti. How do I put it to you? They are anti. Getting hit with the juice. Brothers know what I'm saying. All right, so you got certain jobs, which really is on an increase actually with the jobs, that you have to get juiced up in order to even work. Okay. So all in all, it's not gonna be a good. It's not gonna. This kingdom is not in a good predicament. All right. And it reads, the increase in initial jobless claims was driven by a rise in California, likely related to transitions from expired federal unemployment insurance benefits to other benefit programs. All right, because that's another thing too. The benefits, they're closing out. Now you could apply again, but they're not going to give you as much. All right, so now people are, getting desperate, and it shows. All right. People are about to lose their cool out here, okay, by a number of factors. All right, not just, the financial, but it's just the number of factors out here. All in all, it's just this place being ruled by the wicked. All right, and it reads, the number of Americans currently collecting jobless benefits, a metric known as continuing claims, fell by 18,000 in the week ending September 18th. Okay, labor market health is a key barometer for the world's largest economy, which is about to collapse. All right, but really, let me see real quick. That's the reason why I'm skimming through this is because a lot of this is miscellaneous. It's just things that don't really matter, so to speak. All right. Let me just bring this out. All right, and it reads, in a separate report on Thursday, the U.S. Department of Commerce said the U.S. economy grew 6.7% in the second quarter from the same period a year earlier. All right, the revised figure was slightly adjusted upward from the previous estimate. So again, this is that tone, that spirit that that's on whoever wrote this article. That they it's almost as if they see this as just like another hurdle, for Babylon to get back on track. But what they don't know is that this is it, man. Okay, it's from here, it's only downhill. All right, actually, I don't even want to say from here. It's been going downhill. Okay, it's been going downhill. All right, even before this whole Crown V situation happened, America's economy wasn't doing good. Okay, now with the lockdowns, and a lot of factors at play, you could only imagine where it's at right now. With all those handouts it gave to the population, you know what I'm saying? The national debt is just going higher and higher and higher, man. And there's no hiding it. Okay, so we're gonna go to another article, and this little restaurant should be opening up right now. So like not another article, we're just gonna hit the scriptures now. All right, so the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and 9, and it reads, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, because of all the wickedness that has gone on in this place. Okay, and it's ultimately about the appointed times. All right, it's all about, you know, how you know how long Yahweh Shem Yahushai wants a kingdom to persist. All right, that's why the scriptures talk about, you know, the prophets that have been of old, you know, prophesied against many kingdoms. Okay, because the Lord, you know, he's the one who decides when a kingdom rules and when it falls. You know, very much like, you know, for example, if you go into the book of Daniel's with the statue that the king, you know, king of, if I'm not mistaken, the king of Babylon, you know, he dreamt up of it. You know, it was a prophecy outlining all the kingdoms that were going to rule upon the world as Yahweh Shem Yahushua appointed them. Okay, so this is just another chapter in that statue. You know, we're at the toes in a sense. You know, where it's mixed between the clay and the iron. You know, to signify how some are strong and some are weak. And real soon that great millstone is gonna come down and destroy this place, man. All right, which I'm not gonna say the great millstone. You know, it's really the ICBM thermonuclear missiles. You know, but real soon Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna toss that great millstone. You know. So it reads, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. You know, and that's another thing too right there. You know, there's going to be people going back to their countries, but little do they know they're going to be caught up in the plagues, because it's not just about Babylon. The world is visiting the whole earth, man. All right, you got volcanoes blowing up, you know, off the coast of Spain, you know, in them Canary Islands. You know, it's talks of toxic gas. You have tornadoes, you know, destroying buildings and ravaging Germany, man. Okay, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is visiting the earth which he made. All right, so whether these people go back to their countries or stay here, they're still, you know what I'm saying, they're still going to be visited, man. All right, the whole world's going to answer unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, so I'm going to read the first part again, because that's really the key point. And it reads, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. All right, and that's what, you know, inspired the title of the lesson right there. You know, when I saw those numbers, all right, that this place is not to be healed. It doesn't matter how much, you know, news they try to cover it up with. This place is not to be healed. The national debt is way too high. All right, and ultimately, you know, people are going jobless. You know, you got distribution that's not, you know, going, you know, the supplies aren't going to places. You know, you're seeing a lot of empty shelves on the stores. You know, this place is done, man. Finito. All right, so with that, we're gonna go to the last one. I'm not trying to make this, you know, long. All right, but we're gonna go into the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and 1, and it reads, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." All right, and that's talking about, you know, just really in the grand scheme of things, that's really talking about everything, you know. But that also applies to these kingdoms. All right, hey, Rome, you know, it was very powerful and it fell. You know, Babylon was very powerful and it fell. Egypt was powerful and Yahweh Shem Yahushua destroyed it. The Assyrian Empire, you know, the Medes, the Persians, the Greeks, they all had their time and they fell. Okay, the same thing is applied unto Babylon, unto the daughter of Babylon, which is America. This kingdom had its time, and now we're witnessing its downfall, because the transition is set in motion. In verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Okay, and guess who's gonna get built up? The nation of Israel, man, starting with the elect. All right, we've been broken down, okay, for our transgressions as punishment. All right, but now we're in a time that as this place gets broken down, we are being built up. as pursuant to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. All right, verse 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. You know, and that's another thing too. Love of many shall wax cold. You know, people have a real cutthroat spirit out here, man. All right, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. You know, which that's going on. You know, that's what's going on too. The prophets are in the forefront, speaking about, the downfall of Babylon. All right, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And there's gonna be wars going on all over the world, man. All right, wars going on all over the world. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is raising up these nations, man. You know, and in the news, it may seem like, all is set in order. You know what I'm saying? But really, if everything is set in order, why are these nations prepping? You know, why have we seen in the last few decades, record high number of these different nations investing in their military? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is preparing them for war. All right? So that's the times that we're in. A time like never before. The beginning of sorrows. But what followeth after is a time of peace. Okay? That's what follows after. Yerah Shalom, or Yerah Shalom. If I didn't butcher it. Select if I did, which basically means, city of peace, if I'm not mistaken. All right? But that's what cometh after, man. Peace. New Jerusalem. Okay? So with that, I'm going to say, Kal Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rechah HaKodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. And Lord willing, it was edifying, watching the times and, just going to show that, this place is heading downhill very fast. All right, from 11,000 one week to 300,000 the next week. Come on, man. This place is through. All right, so with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next.